You want to see that kind of investment continue if we're going to get to, where people think the battery electric vehicle is going in terms of the industry.
But it appears federal investments will diminish, creating EV anxiety 2.0. With the change in administrations earlier this year came a big change in priorities regarding clean energy and the conversion to electric vehicles. What was important to President Biden in most cases is not important to President Trump. Tonight, Mid-Michigan Now's Mike Wolffolk takes a look at where things stand and who likely feels the most EV anxiety right now.
The electric vehicle market in this country is growing, but remains very much in its early stages.
People bought more electric cars this year than they did last year. They'll buy more electric cars next year than they did this year.
What Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist says is definitely true for General Motors. Among Detroit's big three, GM is the only one reporting a sales jump in EVs for the first half of this year. But how long can that last with the federal government under President Donald Trump reversing the various incentives that the government under then-President Joe Biden put in place?
It's kind of pulling the rug out from under them when the policy changes.
Combined, GM, Ford, and Stellantis initially invested roughly $120 billion in EV technology.
They made this investment based on the trajectory of policy in this country to some extent.
Auto analyst David Zoya says not having a clear, stable policy on EVs has left the auto companies in a bind.
When you have things jumping back and forth, that just creates havoc in the industry.
That policy havoc also resonates at the state level and with EV owners.
All these new cars and stuff coming up and the infrastructure's not there to support them yet.
MDOT is working with private partners to build out a charging network here in Michigan. Right now, this site is off Miller Road. It's right behind the Applebee's restaurant. It's under construction and it should be online with 4 DC fast chargers within the next few months.
Okay, here we go.
Money from the bipartisan infrastructure law that President Biden signed while in office is funding this and about 80 other stations across the state. Michigan was granted $110 million. $58 million is in hand.
We're waiting for additional clarity from the Federal Highway Administration for the remaining $52 million.
If President Trump's pause on the program is lifted, Steve Minton with MDOT says the state can finish building out the charging corridors, placing stations every 50 miles along major travel routes, and possibly build in rural and urban areas.
Is there a general ballpark figure that you're spending on each one of these stations?
The average cost for the installation of a charging station through the Nevia program is about $750,000 to $800,000.
Based on that, he says the state could install 100 to 150 stations. That would certainly help ease anxiety for EV owners.
I've had this car for 2.5 years now. There's been no new fast chargers or anything that I've been able to put in around here.
Now, if you're a prospective EV owner, your anxiety level might be rising, and in turn, the same could hold for individual car dealers.
When these incentives come off at the end of September.
That was not a mistake. The federal tax incentive that was set to run through December 2032 now goes away on September 30th, just 2.5 months from now.
We'll start to see what is really the true demand for electric vehicles in this country.
That change to the EV tax incentive is a done deal. That was included in the spending bill President Trump signed on July 4th. As for the money allocated for infrastructure build-out under former President Biden's plan, it remains to be seen if the Trump administration will be able to pull that back. Steve Minton with MDOT says they should hear something fairly soon. In Flint, Mike Wolffolk, Mid-Michigan Now.